Welcome to the first video review from Marcusor Gaming. In this video, I'm looking at The Arrival, the final downloadable add-on for BioWare's sci-fi masterpiece, Mass Effect 2. If you have an interest in Xbox 360 gaming and haven't been living under a rock for the last couple of years, then it's likely that you've heard of a little game called Mass Effect 2. In my opinion, the game deserved most of the gushing praise it received, and although the simplification of the skill and upgrade advancement may have disappointed hardcore RPG fans, the game did a fantastic job of blending elements from multiple genres to create an emotionally engaging, story-driven experience featuring very solid third-person cover-based combat mechanics with a great level of tactical depth. A year and a couple of months later, BioWare have released a fourth and final narrative-based downloadable add-on for the second game in the trilogy before focusing all their attention on the upcoming Mass Effect 3. So, does Shepard's latest mission match the high standards set by previous DLC?
You're saying the Reapers could be at Earth in 2 days? There's no time to waste.
In a word, yes. At the 560 Microsoft Point price tag, you shouldn't expect anything as long or as expansive as last September's Lair of the Shadow Broker, as this is a single mission that will last you a couple of hours, similar to the game's first two add-ons, Kasumi's Stolen Memory and Overlord. Arrival can be played any time after the Horizon mission in the main storyline, so although it does not necessarily follow on from the events of the game's ending, recently released information on Mass Effect 3 tells us that the events that take place in this DLC pack will have consequences that are crucial to the story of the next installment of the series. The plot sees Commander Shepard once again called upon by Admiral Hackett, this time we actually get to see his face, to aid the Alliance. Dr. Amanda Kenson, a deep cover operative who claims to have evidence of an impending Reaper invasion, has been captured in Batarian space, and it's up to the player to rescue her and find out more about the supposed imminent attack on humanity. Although short, the story kept me engaged throughout by introducing me to new areas of the Mass Effect universe and providing a few twists to surprise me along the way. During the adventure, Shepard will travel to new locations, all of which look incredible as always, with an excellent level of detail in the interior environments and some beautiful landscape views. It's easy to run past and ignore these when you're caught up in the action, but I personally always find it cool to stop for a moment to appreciate the work that artists must put into these exterior areas. Equally impressive are the cinematic cutscenes featured in Arrival, which will give fans some spectacular sights during the add-on's more dramatic moments, especially at the story's climax. The Arrival DLC presents you with a nice variety of action and combat situations for you to play through as you advance through the story. These sequences are paced well to eliminate repetition and ensure that you are constantly challenged with new situations. These include stealth-type sections, battles against oncoming waves of enemies, protection of Dr. Kenson, and fighting against the clock. It's still the same familiar third-person combat that you're used to, but like most of the missions featured in Mass Effect 2, it's mixed up to make sure it's not a simple case of go here, shoot this, go there, shoot that. There's even one very brief part where you'll be able to temporarily control another sort of character. I won't spoil it, but it's a neat little addition that definitely managed to amuse me. Speaking of other characters, Arrival sees a certain lack of Shepard's most capable allies, namely his combat squad. Hackett insists that you go alone on the mission to avoid unnecessary confrontation on a covert operation, which means you'll be more reliant on your own skills and abilities and won't have the added firepower of your squadmates' weaponry. This presents a unique and fresh feel for the mission that some players may enjoy, but the lack of company can lead to a slight feeling of loneliness at times. It's kind of weird hearing Shepard talk to himself, and although the absence of your squad's powers could be seen as an extra challenge for some, it might be unfair for others who have put much effort into finally balancing their squad for maximum combat efficiency, only to be denied access to their team's talents during engagement. Dr. Kenson does briefly fight alongside you during certain sections of the DLC, but she's not exactly the most helpful of companions. In terms of challenge, as always the combat difficulty ranges from casual to insanity, allowing players to set the right level of enemy capability to suit their personal tastes. For those of you intending to play on the harder levels, unfortunately there's no achievement for completing Arrival on hardcore or insanity, meaning that you'll only have your own personal satisfaction to play for. Overall, Arrival is a great bit of downloadable content that, although may not quite live up to the expectations of some gamers who wanted a hugely spectacular final add-on for Mass Effect 2, is still a highly enjoyable, well-made and very solid mission to act as the final addition to what has been a very impressive lineup of small expansions for an equally impressive game. If you're a fan of the Mass Effect games and haven't bought this yet, then I would personally recommend it. It may only last you a couple of hours, but they will be very enjoyable thanks to the interesting story and exciting action sequences that Arrival provides. If you're in the minority that weren't too keen on the main game for Mass Effect 2 and were waiting for an add-on that provided something a little different, then this isn't for you, as it follows the same basic formula of action, story and dialogue that the series is renowned for. If, like myself, you enjoy playing Mass Effect 2 and want to experience the last portion of new content in preparation for the upcoming Mass Effect 3, then this DLC is definitely worth the 560 Microsoft points. I've awarded Arrival a solid 7.5 out of 10. This has been the first episode of Marcus Gaming. I hope you've enjoyed the review for the Mass Effect 2 DLC Arrival. Please feel free to leave constructive criticism in the comments to help me improve future videos. And also, the whole point of me making these videos is to share opinions and discuss games. So it'd be cool to hear your opinions on Arrival through video responses and comments. What did you think of it, and do you agree with my score? Hopefully there will be more videos coming soon in the form of demo impressions, more reviews and general game discussion, so stay tuned for that. And finally, thanks very much for watching.